I'm Nicholas Penrake, and you're listening to A Trader's Life, the podcast where I get to talk to successful traders about their approach to trading, how they started out and went from broke or breaking even to pulling in thousands of dollars a week. Trading is a tough game. They say only around 5% of those who try actually make a profit. Join me for A Trader's Life to glean some valuable insights from the market wizards I get to talk to. Hey, how's it going? If you've been trading a while, it's probably safe to assume you've come across the Fibonacci retracement and extension tools. And perhaps you've also come across a few traders on YouTube who show you how to use these tools. But unless you've already joined the Fibonacci Trading Institute, you won't have come across the Fibonacci tools and strategies as created by Alla Peters Plocher. This to me is another dimension altogether. Alla has been fascinated by numbers and patterns in music and maths since she was a child. She became fascinated by the markets some 20 years ago, and today she has students all around the world trading her strategies. Very successfully, I might add. If you're fascinated by the patterns we see in the markets and you want to develop a more precise trading strategy than you currently work with, I think you'll get a lot of value from this episode. Alla, how's it going? Welcome back to A Trader's Life.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. It's my joy and honor being here with you. Thank you for having me.
No, sure. Yeah, it's been a while. So you're running a boot camp for your Fibonacci Trading Institute. Tell me about that.
Well, I love doing boot camps, which I do in very condensed trading environment. So in 14 years of teaching, this is my bootcamp number 15. Typically, I do one bootcamp a year. And the reason why I do an extra bootcamp this year because of the US election. So we actually start the day after election in the most volatile markets because no one knows who's going to win. The race is extremely close. And I love when traders mastering the system during such extreme volatility, because during extreme volatility, you're learning the most. You don't have to sit and wait. There will be so many trades. There will be so much institutional volume. And now we're dealing with historical events. We're dealing with Middle East crisis. We're dealing with Iran, with Russia, with Ukrainian war. And we're dealing with historical rally that's at critical levels. So this is potential one of the biggest historical trading boot camps that I would ever teach. And for that reason, I love expediting learning process because traders have opportunity to master and learn so much. More volatile the markets, more trading opportunities. But again, my system applies for day and position trading, a system based on pure price. And pure price is exactly the same on every instrument. Only difference between day versus position trading is risk management and trade hold times. But identical rules apply, identical proprietary strategies, identical proprietary Fibonacci retracement levels. And that's been my biggest discovery 20 years ago when I started building my systems. When I thought I was looking at Russell, but I was actually looking at S&P. And it hit me, oh my God, every instrument is the same. And I prove it in every class where I teach across.
Alla, tell me about, or perhaps could you differentiate your system from what traders typically regard as a tool on, TradingView, a Fibonacci tool, retracement tool? How is your protractor different from that normal, the average tool that you'll find on these trading platforms?
So 20 years ago, when I was introduced by my very dear friend in UK to the word Fibonacci, because I was seeing that market is a puzzle, I became obsessed. And ever since then, I started building my own systems. So I actually build exponential number of systems because I see market as flawless chess. Market is not a chaos. And every single one of my levels that I developed is not a standard Fibonacci level. So here's one of the most basic examples. 0 is not considered a Fibonacci level 1, but I absolutely admire 0. So once you start understanding the most important level in the markets, which is 0, based on my system, everything changes. And I build up on that. So for that reason, I love when traders who've been trading for years, for 10, 15, 20 years. I just have a trader who's been in financial markets for 30 years. And the first email he sent me says, wow, fascinating. I've never seen anything like it. So when that comes from experienced trader, I promise you, no one else in the world does what I do. So every single day I see much more in the markets. Every single day I see how this perfect puzzle evolves. And every single one of my strategies I develop connects to the next one. And all of my strategies building up from micro to macro charts. And that's just how I see the market. Flawless alpha Fibonacci chess with proprietary tracements that allow trader to trade with ultimate precision, even the most choppy market conditions, as played out this morning in the trading room on October 2nd. So on the YouTube channel at Fibonacci Trading, you can witness all of these events from our trading room, where I demonstrate the precision of the system with the software to day trade futures on NinjaTrader 8 or without software, only with proprietary levels, on stocks such as Amazon, Nvidia, where the system picked up the bottom and the top, such as Forex, such as Euro, such as Pound, such as crypto. And I review multiple stocks and I review any questions visitors and students may ask, because I see every single instrument as exactly the same. So that's the biggest mistake traders make. And it's really not even traders' mistake. That's how market is designed. I remember stepping into the market because I was just fascinated. I wanted to see what is there. And I saw such chaos and I saw such panic. And I saw that market design for traders as one huge shopping mall. And everybody runs for the cheapest stuff. And everybody runs for the freebies. But in trading, as in life, you get what you pay for. And the biggest second mistake traders make is blocking price. It's a huge, biggest mistake ever, because the pure price is the alphabet of the market. And when you understand the power of that, you don't care if you trade 1 minute S&P or if you trade Pound weekly or Amazon yearly, it's the same. And I show it during the test in the trading room when I show you the chart, but nobody can tell what chart that is, because every single instrument has exactly the same chart. Only difference with stocks, stocks have lots of gaps during market open. That's the only difference. Otherwise, pure price, exactly the same. So unblocking pure price and focusing on pure price has been the core of my work for the last 20 years. Pure price for entry and proprietary alpha Fibonacci retracements. And that's how I build up every single one of my strategies.
Alla, can you talk to me a little bit about how you started this journey? You know, where did you start? You were in markets not as a trader, but you were, when you were younger, you were pretty good at maths, I seem to remember you telling me, and you had you were able to play the piano very well. So I guess you already had a sense for patterns, numbers.
I did not really realize that. I mean, my background, I grew up in USSR, and I've never in my life seen calculator. And maths was the most important subject in USSR. And until I came in United States, which played out at the age of 21, I never in my life even knew that calculator exists. So I constantly in my head kept calculating, kept analyzing, I kept seeing things. So since very young age, I remember looking at the frozen windows and asking myself, how come every snowflake is so perfect, is so symmetrical? And I used to annoy my teachers, my science teachers, my biology teacher really did not like me because I kept saying, how come every daisy is symmetrical? How come such and such flower symmetrical? Because remember, USSR was atheistic country and nobody could dive into deep answers. So when I start moving up to quantum physics, my quantum physics professor had exact same name as me. And she was the very first person who whispered to me Fibonacci. But when I started playing piano, and piano became my full-time work because I got kicked out from ballet for being way too tall, I started playing identical chords, 1, 3, 5, and I started seeing that chords start after 7 again and again and again. And all the micro formations, when I was composing my own music, were involved around those formations that I didn't even recognize were actually Fibonacci formations, the exact same waves 1, 3, 5 that I see in financial markets. And when I came to United States without a word of English, but I had to survive, and I went to the nursing school to become a RN because there were 40 pages of help wanted in the magazines, I started building my systems on memorizing and connecting letters to each other. And I aced it most of my tests. And everyone was stunned. How come a girl who can barely speak English doing so well in the hardest school where 80+% fails? So identical mathematical sequence engraved in me since the most phenomenal math classes since I was a toddler continue playing out. I started building my systems in piano, in nursing tests, and when I realized I cannot work night shifts, I cannot be on call forever, I cannot be so exhausted, I started studying financial markets, Wall Street Journal, Investor Business Daily, and I started investing and I started looking at the charts and I started seeing the patterns. So 2004, my very dear friend Rich is the one who said again word Fibonacci that I've heard in my childhood. And I started building the systems and I saw how powerful it is what I developed during crisis 2008. How my system were identifying crashes well before the biggest news, well before the earnings. And when I was interviewing with financial institutions in 2008, after the crash of 2008, I recognized I can't really wear a business suit 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning in California because California opens with financial markets and I can't really be stuck with papers, with extreme stress. I needed a breathing room. I needed to focus on my systems. And exact same incredible friend, Rich, said, hey, why don't you start a website and see what happens? Overnight students all over the world. When experienced trader comes to me, he sees quality instantly. Those are my favorite clients. Surgeons, heart surgeons, brain surgeons, doctors, professional athletes, incredibly accomplished human beings who've been in financial markets, including JP Morgan trader whom I coach, see the power of my system instantly. So today, when I start celebrating 14 years since the start of my website, and I'm invited to students' wedding in India, but I just come back from meeting students in London, meeting students in New York, I'm obsessed with my work. because I care about humanity, because I care about traders' success, and I'm obsessed with my systems. After this interview, I'm going into building systems. I build systems every day. I see much more in financial markets every single day. Market is flawless. Alpha Fibonacci puzzle. And if you're hearing the alerts going off, that's it. And as I reviewed this morning with my traders, we reviewed S&P mini future during major oil news events. We reviewed oil with ultimate precision, identifying all in advance well before oil news. And we also went deep into Amazon, the start of the rally, the crash of the rally into Nvidia, the start, the crash into rally on euro and pound despite catastrophic events in Europe. How about that? Those are the kind of things I love. Wow. The start of the Middle East crisis, but euro and pound staging the biggest rally from the levels my system identified in advance.
Okay. Do you find that news impacts your strategy very much, or it
I
goes
love,
ahead
love,
anyway?
I love news because I identify everything independent and before the news. And it's flawless, and you can see it in thousands of my videos on YouTube channel. Always before news events. I love news events because it happens with extreme volatility. I love major news events like oil news this morning in the trading room. So I absolutely love demonstrating my strategies during major news because I identify all that will play out well before major news.
So basically, the news doesn't affect your strategy all that much. It causes volatility in between, but you're saying your strategy, your levels prevail.
Absolutely. I will never claim or make a claim 100% success rate and such because I'm only human. But it is extremely precise and it is extremely powerful. Yes and yes and yes and yes. And I identify all, like this morning was very, very powerful event because we're at historical levels on S&P. And S&P was stuck in ultimate chop before oil news. And to the tick, I said, this is a trading range, and this is what S&P have done for an hour, bouncing to the tick. Not to the point, to the tick. And then oil news, historical rally overextending from critical key buy point. And on the retail chart, I show again to the tick what will happen on oil. So during those most important events, when institutions holding positions and market in brutal chop, that's the ultimate test for every single system. That's the most critical moment in traders trading. When institutions holding position, but market is not collapsing, is not selling off, that's when every single strategy and every single system tested. And that's what I love to see. And that's what played out this morning. So we are at critical key levels, historical events coming up. I'm extremely excited about the bootcamp. I also emphasize not just the power of precision and trading markets as strategic, intelligent, alpha Fibonacci chess, but how it's connected to your mindset. Because a trader who comes to the market and drops into this chase, unfortunately turns on the wrong switch. The gambler switch is on. And that becomes engraved in subconscious. Because every single time trader pulls speculative trigger, trader engraves in subconscious gambling, not trading. Trading, strategic, intelligent, gambling, speculative. And every single time trader thinks, oh, I just need to buy another indicator. I just need to buy another system. And if trader keeps blocking pure price and keeps spending energy on absolutely unproven products and strategies, it becomes not a happy path. So understanding that market is precise chess, market is not a chaos. Market is exactly the same on every instrument, is absolute game changer. As traders share on my podcast channel, as traders emails posted on my website, they share from all over the world. As I have fathers bringing sons to my course, husbands bringing wives, and every single partner and friends trading different instruments, different platforms, different time frames. Also, when I work in private mentoring, what do I love? I love a personal connection, and I love showing to trader if trader meant to be a day trader or not. So many people come to the markets thinking day trading is easy money, is a lot of money, but in fact, they're not meant to day trade. They're not passionate about markets. They don't want to do the work with backtesting. Those who are obsessed with the markets, those who replay markets every day, those who love being tested to the core of technical and psychological tests, meant to be day traders. If not, trade system long term. Identical strategy applies. That's it.
Makes sense, yeah. Obviously, as you say, not everyone is sort of attuned to the fast-moving markets, or shall we say the lower time frames. They think they are, perhaps, but the reality is, as you say, they soon become like gamblers and end up blowing their accounts. I mean, I was a bit like that right at the beginning. I've improved since then, but it's easy to see why so many traders fail.
Because it's not their fault, as I mentioned. It's because the way market is set up. It's like one huge mall that's loaded with noise that would never make you money. And that's why human being who comes to this trading markets start spending money, start spending energy, start going through cycle of extreme events. So something else I also want to mention, two very important things. I learned so much from my students, especially from my private mentoring students, because I have a personal connection and I can dive deep into personal circumstance. I can dive deep and test one-on-one trader meant to be day trader or not. So this trader came to me and he was so upset and he said, hey, I've been trying to make money for years, for many, many years, and I'm a very successful business owner, happy in my personal life. Within 4 private mentoring sessions, he saw clearly he cannot stand financial markets. He absolutely been fighting himself. He's allergic to financial markets. He's an options trader. He looks at the charts once a day, once a week. And he finished private mentoring being very happy because I opened his eyes on the truth. He's not in love with the markets. He's not. Only those who are in love with the markets succeed in day trading. If not, look at the chart. Once an hour, once a day, once a week, once a month. That's it. Don't push it. Don't force it. Because something else extremely important. The mindset human being is raised with. So we don't have free will, what we dropped into. The family, the culture, the financial circumstances. We don't. When I work with complete beginner trader who is raised in an incredibly successful, stable family in Switzerland and raised in private school, he has no clue what financial stress is. Right out of the gate, within a couple of weeks, he's trading live account, and trading for him is the easiest thing because he doesn't know what the fear of losing money is. He came to me, able mindset. Trading for him is easy. Right away, he loves to day trade. Now, 4 years later, he's trading everything. He closed his law practice and he's a full-time trader and he loves it. And he says trading is the easiest thing. All of those podcasts on my website and the emails from traders all over the world. So beginner traders, those who never been exposed to horrible things in financial market, are my favorite traders to work with. So if the trader comes to me and the trader is extremely stressed out, and the trader struggled for years, and the trader goes through horrible personal circumstance, that's a trader who cannot day trade. Because the mind is not rational, the mind is not stable, and cortisol and testosterone is raging, and trader goes against the war with the market, when in fact becomes war with self. So that's a time to exhale. That's a time to detox the brain. That's a time to refocus. Cannot day trade when brain is not goes out to humanity. Because very final point that's extremely important, we become who we swim with. So it's very important for trader to look around and see, are you next to a trader who is successful in trading proven system? Or are you next to a trader who's struggling for years and searching and keep losing money? We absorb energy and mindset of who is next to us. So that's Harvard study that came out that said, number one predictor of success, who is next to you. And that's why I'm so excited about the bootcamp, because graduates of the course coming to bootcamp, sharing their journeys, sharing their stories of very different backgrounds. And I love seeing our global community together. And I love hearing inspirational stories. And that's the reason I love my work, because there will be traders from New Jersey, from Chicago, from London, from Japan, from Australia, from New Zealand, from even Russia. The trader who is trading in Russia is truly magnificent human being who absolutely opposes this war, but he has no free will where he's stuck. Another trader who is in Beirut. So that's a global spectrum, who refuses to leave despite having US citizenship because he loves his country. He's trading options. Trader in Moscow trading stocks. Trader in Chicago trading futures. So every trader, different background, different instrument, different time frame, but all trading alpha Fibonacci systems. And that's my passion and that's my obsession, humanity and alpha Fibonacci systems and strategies developing for the last 20 years.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. When you use the word developing, how much has the software developed over time?
It's exponential. I even lost the count. I just see markets as a puzzle. So when human being comes and likes solving the puzzle and solving the words, I'm solving the markets. And every single one of my strategies connecting to the next one. So if I right click right now on my Dropbox, the count of my system and strategies is exponential. So I keep saying it's 40 plus. 40 plus is a core, but inside the umbrella, every strategy has a couple more inside. Because one strategy is 1, 2, 3, 4 key rules framed by institutional levels. Another strategy is 1, 2. So all of those key rules and Fibonacci levels, it's chess. That's how I see the market. Precise, strategic chess. So if chess you have exponential number of moves, but they all extremely precise, that's what I do. I develop chess games for financial
And then
markets.
and then you kind of turn those chess games to some kind of software, right?
Yeah, so I have a software to day trade futures for NinjaTrader 8 platform. But I have traders all over the world. I have hedge fund manager in London trading on platform I never heard of. I have trader in Saudi Arabia trading on platform I never heard of. So as long as pure price is present and platform has Fibonacci retracement tool, simply insert my proprietary levels, apply proprietary rules, and trade proprietary strategy. That's it.
Did you start with the Fibonacci tools that you see on an average platform? Did you look at those and then realize
Yeah.
there were shortcomings, there were sort of things that were not accurate enough, and that you kind of moved from there? Or did you?
Well,
Yeah, go on.
yeah,
Tell me.
absolutely. Fibonacci tool on trading platform means nothing. It's just another tool, but how to use it? What levels mean what? That's where my passion started, when I saw that every single price move, the reversal, the entry, the stop, the target is not speculative. And I started testing. 20 years ago, I thought I decoded the markets. Now, 20 years later, I see very clearly. Market is exponential, precise, alpha Fibonacci puzzle.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so but when you say you fine tune things, that's more about your strategy rather than the actual tool. Yeah, the tool is pretty much the same as it was 10, 20 years ago.
The settings on the tool, that is correct, absolutely correct. And my most powerful number is 0. I absolutely am obsessed with 0. If trader can identify 0, that's the best number to ever trade, because it's the start of everything. So if trader can capture the start of everything, it's a game changer. What trader does not recognize, and let me give you the biggest secret to success. Trader gets in trouble at 2 places. Number 1, when institutions holding positions doing nothing. Those are the traders who are in serious trouble. When you understand that institutions doing nothing, which is what my system based on, institutional alpha Fibonacci structure, smartest thing retail trader can do is do nothing. Take a vacation and walk away from the screen. Like US markets for the last week. For retail trader, it's extremely choppy and extremely narrow market. So during those extreme times, precision is the most crucial key part. Second part where a trader gets in trouble, middle. Middle of the structure is the most dangerous, second place. But again, institutions holding positions is by far the worst place for retail trader to trade. The most spectacular place for retail trader to trade is institutional entries, institutional trend inceptions, and institutional, and that's framework. That's a critical key framework. So with my system, 80% of the trade comes with alpha Fibonacci frame, institutional and retail. And if it's a retail trader who's trading small account, congruency with institutional and retail traders present the best opportunities. Incongruency, institutional holds other markets, retail trader must avoid. This is the most important part. This is the most important path to success, knowing when institutions holding positions versus institutions entering. Of course, absolutely. Tomorrow I'm teaching institutional class. And that's the email from new student who been in financial markets for 30 years that says, fascinating, wow, never seen anything like it. And that's a student who been trading Fibonacci forever. And that's a student who been trading Elliott Wave forever. Those are my favorite students who giving me compliments saying, I've never seen anything like it.
Is your system more efficient than Elliott wave theory?
My system is precise. I don't want to say anything about Elliott wave except what exact same student would tell me. It is not precise.
Okay.
This is all I know, that it has a lot of elements of guessing. My system is precise. And that's a very big difference.
Absolutely,
No
yeah.
complexities, no multiple wave counts, none of that in my system exists. There is entry, there is stop, there is target, there is institutional entry, institutional exit, there is institutional chop, there is retail trend inception with institutional or without. That's it.
Yeah, you mentioned finding zero. Zero is your most important number.
Yeah.
How do you decide where zero is on the chart? I mean, are you looking at the high time frames, the monthly charts to
Oh,
identify?
no. It all depends. It applies to every single chart.
Okay.
Every single chart has zero. So I have traders who trading weekly chart, monthly chart, and I have traders who trading 100 tick chart and 1 minute and 3 minute chart. Zero is always present. Zero is the most important number, but it's all traders' personal preference, and that varies between retail to institutional trader to position trader to options trader. But zero for all charts, from micro to macro charts. So when I teach institutional class tomorrow, traders just blown away when I start from micro to macro charts, to smallest to largest.
Applying
Tomorrow
the same
class,
system.
because it's the beginning of new months, I will be looking at monthly, weekly. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, to me, the zero would logically be at the bottom or the top, but of
Correct.
course, yeah,
It's
identifying those is difficult.
It's an extremely powerful number. But again, there are multiple cases when it is present at very different levels then, and that's, I don't want to overcomplicate it or confuse people on call, because unless you learn my strategy, you cannot speculate with zero. Only thing I can tell you, it's trend inception and trend reversal levels. But it applies to Amazon, it applies to every stock, it applies to every forex, every crypto, every future, every commodity, every chart, every time frame, every platform.
Yeah. Alla, how long does it take most students to get a command of your system? Is it like...
No. So I think it's extremely important to recognize that beginner traders holding the bar very, very high. So when hedge fund manager in London brought his son to the course, you can listen to the podcast on my channel with father and son. Son, Dominic, 14 years old, started trading within a couple of weeks. He was bored. He had nothing to do during COVID. So that shows you system is not complicated. If first time ever in his life looking at financial markets, 14-year-old boy can do it, anyone can. So when I work with another complete beginner trader and he trades after a couple of classes, that's another example. It's not complicated. Complexity is coming from trader himself, herself, from baggage, from money habits, from stress level, from number of instruments and software running on the platform. That's individual preference. Average student, a couple of weeks, a couple of months max, especially if I work in private mentoring. I test you, I quiz you, I keep you accountable, I give you homework. I show you what type of trader you are and what you should trade.
That's very cool. Great. Wow. I think I will leave notes in as to where to find you for people listening to this. I'm sure there are going to be some people listening who are very intrigued by your system. I certainly am. It sounds fantastic to me. I shall join one day. Yes, very interesting. And when is your boot camp? Just leading up to the election, is that right?
We start day after the election, but if trader considers signing up, please hear me out. Sooner you sign up, more prepared for the bootcamp you will be. Because you become warm up, you come to group classes, you have hundreds of videos in member area to review. And if I work with you in private mentoring, I prepare you for bootcamp. And at the bootcamp we march at extreme volatility in historical markets, but again, You do not have to come to bootcamp. I will record it and you can view videos 24/7.
Sounds cool to me. Good. Well, we should wind up there. I know you have a meeting straight after this, so thanks so much for being on the show.
Nicholas, truly, thank you so much. Always joy and honor to speak with you. And I hope traders would learn a lot because I truly care about their success. So any questions for me, please do not hesitate to contact me. Simply pick up the phone and call or send me an email. I always look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alla Peters Plocher. You'll find links to Alla's bootcamp and various courses in the description notes. I have personally met some of Alla's students and they all speak very highly of her as a mentor. Thanks for listening. Have a great week trading.